Whoa, buddy, put that thing back in its holster. We haven't gone anywhere.
I don't understand.
Check out the MichaelDukesShow.com for information on how to get access to the podcast.
The Michael Dukes Show.
I have 2 guns, one for each of you.
Firearms Friday.
As Thomas Jefferson stated, it is the right and duty of the people to be at all times armed.
Say hello to my little friend.
I say that the Second Amendment is, in order of importance, the First Amendment. The right to keep and bear arms is the one right that allows rights to exist at all.
The Michael Dukes Show. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Firearms.
From my cold, dead hands.
Friday.
Here's my rifle, this is my gun, this is for fighting, it's for fun.
Firearms Friday.
Firearms Friday. Good morning and welcome to the program. It is the Michael Dukes Show, and it is that one day a week that we dedicate to the Second Amendment and everything related to gun rights and so much more. Hello, my friends. How are you doing this morning? Are you ready for the weekend? It's wet and rainy here. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, it is what it is. Yesterday was gorgeous. And today's a little rainy. So it is what it is. I'm not losing my mind over it. It's still good. Welcome to August. If I didn't tell you that yesterday, we are continuing on. It's fair weather. I guess that's what we used to call it in Fairbanks, is that the fair would come and it'd be like, it's all nice right up until the fair. And then the fair and that was it. There was and I guess it's the same, pretty much all over, but that's okay. All right. What do we got? This morning? Well, we've got a couple stories to talk about. couple stories related to guns and gun rights and, things like that. And then we're going to be joined here in about 20 minutes by Dr. John Lott, who's the author of More Guns, Less Crime, the president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, and everything else. We're going to be talking about his latest article in the Federalist, which is a good read that talks specifically about what it will look like under a Kamala Harris presidency. Newsflash and sneak peek, it don't look good. It's a problem, my friends. It is a problem for sure. And so Dr. Lott's he's actually got a couple different articles up, but we're only going to have time to talk about one. And we'll see what happens here. As we talk with Dr. Lott. He'll be with us into hour 2. Then we'll pick up with some phone calls, maybe. Maybe we'll talk to Fred from Rhode Island or whoever else wants to call in and talk with us about Second Amendment stuff. And then we will finish up, as always, with our friend Willie. Well, not always, because he wasn't here last week, but that's understandable. I mean, Willie Waffle from wafflemovies.com. thebomb.com. All right, you ready to talk about some of these bills that and some of these issues that are going on out there around the country and around the world? It's interesting that people in Massachusetts are they're in a bit of a fervor. Now, I have not been paying close attention to this because, one, it's Massachusetts. Why should anybody from Alaska care about what's going on in Massachusetts? Those people lost their mind years ago, right? Years ago. Anyway, they have a new bill that is being implemented, and it's called H4885. And that bill, which, again, I'm just getting up to speed on now, has led to what local gun store owners and practitioners and retailers have called madness. In just the last handful of days, the gun store, they have literally, it's like locusts have descended from the sky and purchased everything. One of the stories from Toby Leary over at Cape Gunworks said that it is literally wall to wall, hundreds of customers every day this week, hundreds every day. Ed Morrissey over at Hot Air said that when he went to the range, told us that when he went to the local range, he was able to score the last 3 boxes of 9mm ammunition, and that one of the range employees showed him a folder that was 4 inches thick that consisted of all the 4473s that the customers had filled out this week. 4 inches thick this week. So what is this? What is this? This isn't panic buying. This is not panic buying. It is what the Gun Owners Action League president Jim Wallace tells Cam Edwards that once this bill H4885 takes effect, it will be almost impossible to purchase a new gun. Massachusetts had up until now defined a firearm as only a handgun. Now all guns are considered firearms under the law. Now, the thing is that, and people go, well, wait, aren't all guns firearms? Well, it's kind of a squidgy area in some states and in some places. You've got things like these shockwave shotguns, right? Are they shotguns or are they firearms? Which one are they? Because it depends on what your definition of each. Because if it's just a firearm, it's one thing. If it's a shotgun, It has a certain length requirement and everything else. And so it really, you think, oh, well, of course they're firearms under the law. But up until now, only handguns have been classified as firearms. But now that they're classifying everything as a firearm, that creates a problem for gun owners in the state, because the state also requires that every make and model of firearm undergo testing at a state and receive state certification before it can be sold. So you can't have a different model of the same gun. Now, this gets down into the nitty-gritty of, if the gun manufacturer produces two guns that are identical, except for, say, the coating, maybe one's Cerakoted desert tan and the other one isn't, but because they're two separate models, now they both have to go in for testing. Or because you have a different piece of furniture on the firearm and it's a different model number, now you have to take each individual one in for testing to be certified by the state. I mean, rifles and shotguns have not been subject to this requirement up until now. So there aren't any long guns that are on the approved list from the state because it's never been required. On top of that, the state of Massachusetts has given no guidance to FFLs or anybody else about the new regulations, not even when they will officially take effect. How's that for just insanity? Here's the new rules. You're going to have to guess as to when they take effect. Some folks have said that based on the language in the bill that they believe that it was yesterday, or that they believe that it's today, August 2nd, or others are arguing that the new restrictions can't be officially enforced until 90 days after the law's effective date. But nobody knows. How'd you like to get caught with your pants down on that one? Without any word from state officials, Toby Leary, again from Cape Gunworks, says he's erring on the side of caution. The bill does allow for existing inventory to be sold under the old regulations, so he's tried his best to stock up on what he could to meet customers' demands, but says he's operating under the assumption that the new requirements will kick in today or tomorrow, so he's not ordering any more long guns from his distributors. Isn't that just because, I mean, I guess if you knew what the actual date was that you would have to comply with it, you might buy a few container loads of firearms to make some money while the getting's good, because who knows what's going to happen when this whole thing comes undone. But this is not the only, this thing just keeps coming and coming. It's not the only problem that's going on. There are other issues now. H4885 also requires common carriers like UPS and FedEx, who are normally the carriers of record for a lot of these gun distributors that, sell guns to gun stores, that they have to abide by new storage requirements when transporting firearms, which means they must be kept in a locked area of the van or the truck. Keeping the doors of the truck and the truck itself locked isn't enough to comply with the law. That they have to have so they're going to have an armored truck apparently or something. And basically they're suspecting the Gun Owners Action League is which is a gun rights organization in Massachusetts. They're suggesting that it won't be too long before basically FedEx and UPS just say, sorry, we can't haul your stuff anymore. See, this is part of the problem. It's not the banning of guns. It's making it so difficult to get them, to move them, to sell them, to do all these other things that it just makes it nearly impossible. It's like when they were going after the ammo manufacturers to the point to where it was going to make, they were going to reduce the availability of ammo to essentially everybody would just have a glorified club, right? It has the effect of basically taking the guns away. And this is the same thing. When they have impeded the ability to exercise the right to this point, isn't it still basically an infringement? Oh. It's not just long guns that are impacted. In Massachusetts, you still have to have a license to carry in order to possess a firearm, but the new bill imposes an entirely new training curriculum for instructors and students seeking a license to carry, but they left that up to the state police to develop the curriculum, and they're not developed yet. That's it. They just, sorry. Current licenses are grandfathered in, but if someone decides next week they're ready to jump on the 2A bandwagon, nope, sorry. Now, the good news is that there are multiple lawsuits that are being filed as of probably today. There's multiple lawsuits on the restrictions on retailers, on other portions, on the assault weapons ban, on all this stuff. But I guess my main question to anybody who might be listening somewhere through the stream or on the podcast later on the East Coast, why would you live in a state like this where they want to basically make it impossible, and not just in an outright ban way? They're trying to do it in such a devious, underhanded, behind the back way that why would you ever want to live in a place like this? I do not understand it. It is mind-blowing. But this happens, East Coast, West Coast. It's all those flyover states seem to be the ones that have finally got it all together, right? I mean, that's, I guess. All right, we're going to continue the Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. We'll return with more here in just a moment. Dr. John Lott coming up in about 10 minutes. We'll return right after this.
Running on 100% pure beard power. Oh, also some coffee. We dip our beard in coffee.
Ha, nice beard.
The Michael Duke Show.
Well, hello, my friend. Hello. How you guys doing? What's happening? What good is an NRA endorsement these days? Not much, if you ask. If you're asking me, not much. Not much. Did I see that Dunleavy actually vetoed the after-hours legislation? I did not. But, I mean, I guess it's good to see he can do something right. What it is. Good morning. Good morning. Donna Ardwin. Again, thank you for re-upping and supporting the show, Donna. I appreciate it. Also, big thanks to David. David joined the Common Sense Corps yesterday as well, and you can too. It's simple. It's easy. Just go right here where see my finger right there. You can read it on your little tiny phone screen if you're watching it on the phone. Patreon.com/Michael Duke Show. That's where you go. Appreciate that. Dukesians. The what? The NRA endorsed Peltola? No, that's not possible. Did they really? Tell me that. Terry just said that. If they did, tell me that that's not true. I don't even want to go look. I will get so mad. I mean, that I'll be honest, for me, that would be the last straw. I would never give another dollar to the NRA if that's the case. Good morning, Bill. God, I saw your hand. I saw everybody was talking about your hand, so I went back and looked at your Facebook. What did you do, man? Do not stick your hand in that prop. How many times have I told you? Do not stick your hand in the prop of a boat. It's not a good idea. Ow, dude, that is crazy. Crazy. They did? Rick, what? Mother. I'm sorry. The National Rifle Association issued a rare endorsement of the Democrat backing Mary Peltola and her re-election campaign. The mother. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wow. I've dude, I don't even know what to say to that. And every story's got the same verbiage. I'm looking for, I mean, I am trying so hard not to swear right now. I just, what, why? You've got other, okay. All right. So, I am at a loss for words. My face is all red. I'm just, dude, I am literally trying not to go on a jagged, rant-filled, language-filled, I mean, just tear at this point. All right. 20 seconds. About to rejoin the radio. I can't say anything bad. Terry's like, I knew you were going to lose your mind when you heard this. I mean, yeah. Okay. You guys hear the robbers outside? Okay. It's crazy stuff. Here we go.
What the hell's an assault weapon?
You know, if we could just figure out how to get all of the murder guns and the attack guns and not keep selling those to people and just sell protection guns, I think that would be great and solve a lot of problems.
Does this mean that if we hurt your feelings, you'd consider the Michael Dukes Show assault radio? Okay, we can live with that. Here's Michael Dukes.
I'm almost at a loss for words, my friends. Friends, listeners, countrymen, give me your ear. I think I can officially say that the NRA is dead. The NRA is dead. Dead to me, if to no one else. Somebody was talking about this in the chat room here on the show. Of course, we simulcast the show on Facebook and YouTube. And somebody in the chat room just said it a few minutes ago as we were going into the break that the NRA had endorsed Mary Peltola. And I'm like, oh, come on. You're trying to get my goat. You're trying to get my goat. You know, I'm not going to fall for that bait. I'm not going to go out there. And then a bunch of other people said, no, it came out last night that I missed it apparently. And so sure enough, I went and looked it up, and it's pretty much the same story, although I will say that in the first 5 results on Google, Must Read Alaska comes up, so good job to Must Read for getting out there. And her story, at least, has got a different take than the standard boilerplate AP story. NRA gets an F along with Rep. Peltola. The National Rifle Association made a shocking endorsement. The group endorsed Representative Mary Peltola, who is on record many times over favoring gun control. Just 2 years ago, by the way, for a quick recap and reminder, the NRA rated Mary Peltola with a D. What's changed? Has anything changed? By the way, Gun Owners of America, I would say one of the few remaining real gun rights organizations left in the United States. She gets an F from Gun Owners of America. I mean, this whole thing goes on and on. Wait a second. Let me split this so that I can go back and look at from the Hill. Here's the Hill. So, Peltola is quoted as saying, "Guns are an integral part of Alaska's culture and our subsistence lifestyles. We're the strongest proponents of responsible gun ownership. We pass down our knowledge and skills to our children." The NRA, Randy Kosuch, of the chairman of the NRA Political Victory Fund, said they endorse candidates who, quote, support and defend the constitutional right to keep and bear arms, no matter the party's affiliation. He said in Congress, Peltola has supported efforts to rein in overreach by the ATF, voted for legislation supporting the Second Amendment right of veterans, and voted in favor of protecting traditional ammunition. Even a stopped clock is right twice a day there, Randy. Even a stopped clock is right twice a day. Right? So she may have voted in favor of a few things, but then Suzanne Downing from Must Read, she gets into it piece by piece here. Wait, I got to pull the windows apart so I can read everything. In 2022, she told Time Magazine, "Of course I support background checks. I don't think that's an infringement. I would like to see the particulars of an assault weapons ban. Because we do use them in some instances of hunting." In an interview in the Anchorage Daily News in 2022, she says, "I think it's reasonable to ask law-abiding gun owners to accept a reasonable waiting period." I don't think it's reasonable. I think that increasing the age limit is an acceptable change. I think that certainly we have to do a lot more in terms of gun safety. In an interview on PBS that aired in 2022, she said she wanted to look more closely at the assault weapons ban. A reporter asked her, "Republicans are clearly going to try tying you to the National Democratic Party. I want to ask you about one issue. President Biden in the last few days has been talking about an assault weapons ban. Is this something you would support if it came up for a vote, which I understand it may come up in the months to come?" She said, Peltola, "I need to look more carefully at the details of that proposal. I think it's noteworthy that Bethel, my hometown, had the first school shooting in our nation. I think that many of us, I'm a mom, a grandmother, of course, I'm very concerned about the epidemic we're seeing. But I do want to make sure that Alaskans understand that I'm a staunch advocate for Second Amendment rights. I myself have 176 guns in my home. We're avid hunters. We are very, very tied to our subsistence resources," and blah, 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 blah. She pivoted later on in October of 2022 and said that gun rights were intended to be able to put food on the table, but that stricter gun laws are required. That's not what gun rights were intended for. They weren't intended to put food on the table. They were. Here's what. I am so glad that I am not the only one having a hard time with this today. Here's what one highly engaged member of the NRA in Alaska said. NRA's track record is bad. They botched the Hopkins-Tomaszewski endorsement cycle in last cycle in Fairbanks. Abahian Klein, the NRA regional person assigned to Alaska, didn't listen to the local people who've been doing those endorsements for 20 years, and she decided to reward Grier Hopkins for taking his name off Adam Wool's gun legislation against the advice of longtime NRA advisors. See, this is the problem. The local people, this is the problem in total with the NRA, in a nutshell. And I've been saying this for years. The people at the local level of the NRA are golden. Man, they put so much time and effort. They are hard workers. They do all the I mean, they are amazing. All the people who are there. It's the people at the national level and people who work for the national level, like this advisor who basically ignored what the grassroots on the boots on the ground people were saying. This Abaheen Klein, Aboheen, looks like it's a Gaelic, whatever their name is, didn't listen. She didn't listen to the local people who've been doing those endorsements for over 20 years, and she endorsed Grier Hopkins over Frank Trumashevsky in the local. It's a local race, right? Anybody who's followed this is NRA. You are dead. You're done. As far as that goes, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not. I was willing to give you a chance. I was willing after the whole court case and LaPierre's out to see that you've made some changes. And I know you've been asking for another chance. And some people have been saying, okay, well, we're willing to, but you gotta reach across the aisle. But with this kind of stuff, no, I'm done. I'm done. That next $50 that I was going to give to the NRA, it's going to GOA. To Gun Owners of America. Even though I'm already a lifetime member of GOA, but I'll give some more, or maybe I'll give it to the Firearms Policy Coalition, FPC. But I'm not going to give any more money to the NRA. You're dead. You're done to me. I mean, that's it. You're done. You're done in this state. As far as I'm concerned, if anybody out there who's working for the NRA these days in the state of Alaska, and you want to call up and tell me why I'm wrong, you want to call up and tell me how this is a good thing, you want to call up and soothe my savage soul over something like this, when we're done with Dr. Lott, you can do that. But as of right now, the NRA in the state of Alaska, in my mind, dead. DEAD, dead. You endorse Mary Peltola, of all people? All right. Joining us right now from beautiful sunny, from his sunny backyard is Dr. John Lott. He's with us this morning, and we're ready to go. Good morning, Dr. Lott. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm having a little bit of a problem because I ended up getting another national radio show. They got the time wrong on this thing.
Oh, okay. You need to. We want to reschedule this?
Yeah, if you can. I greatly apologize if that's
it's no problem. It happens. It happens when you're a guy like you and you're getting calls from national people all over the place. One little podunk radio show in Alaska is at the bottom of the list. I understand it.
You're having me on. So
yep.
All right.
We'll talk about it. Get it next week. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Dr. John Lott, we'll reschedule with him for next week. So we'll get that all squared away. All right. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means I am about to open up the phone lines because I am just hoping that there's somebody out there listening who works for the NRA in the state of Alaska, is like one of the major volunteers or works for the outreach people. I can't remember what the new person's name is. I know Troy Stoinking used to do it up in Fairbanks. He's not doing it. Whoever the people are, I hope somebody is listening, because I want them to call me up and explain to me how this makes sense at all. How does this make sense at all? Explain it to me in small words, because obviously I'm a child here. Explain it to me in small words how this makes sense. All right. So let me launch the phones. There we go. Phones are now launched and ready to go. You can give us a call. The number to call is 319-527-3864. 319-527-3864. And let me tell you, you don't have to be a member or working for the NRA to call. If you are a member of the NRA, if you have given the money to them over the years, if you've been a huge supporter of them, what does this feel like to you? Now, I have always loved, I've liked the NRA, but I've always loved like the GOA. I used to give money to JPFO, Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, and GOA. I gave them money for years before I'd pay the NRA the $30 every now and then, just to, because it was a good organization. But I really loved the fire and passion of people like Larry Pratt over at GOA, or Aaron Zellman and company over at JPFO. Those people were, those were my people. That was my tribe right there. And to say that I was to say that I was not surprised about the whole scandal at the NRA. I was outraged, and it was deeper than I thought, but I knew that something was stinky in Denmark, right? But to get this, to do what is going on? Kim in the chat room says, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Yeah, I know. I can't. When Terry said it in the chat room earlier, I thought she was just trying to, yoink my chain a little bit and get me fired up on Friday. Oh, you did it. Oh, you did it. Because it's true. Reported in The Hill. Reported in the Washington Examiner, Newsmax, Yahoo News. It's just, this is what is going on. I absolutely cannot believe it. Wait, here's an article from the ADN back in April of last year. In the wake of shootings, Rep. Peltola finds herself in a tough position on guns. When U.S. Rep. Mary Peltola joined an Alaska Public Media call-in radio show this week, because she never bothers to come in on any of the other shows. Well, quite honestly, I think the only person that I've had on this show has been Dan Sullivan lately. Murkowski's definitely not going to, call in. I'll have to read this story during the break. We're in the break right now. We're about ready to jump into it. So I'm going to have to read this story quickly in the break. But she's got an F rating from GOA. She had a D rating from the NRA, and now she's got a D rating during the campaign of 2022. The council in Dallas, the Alaska Outdoor Council, endorsed Nick Begich in 2022. I'm got to go. I'm obviously at a loss for words. I'm just trying not to lose my mind and say something that the FCC would regret. All right, we got to go. The Michael Duke Show, Common Sense, Liberty-Based, Free Thinking Radio. Back with more. And your phone calls. Maybe I'm the only one who's outraged by this. If you're outraged, tell me why. 319-527-3864. 319-527-3864. The Michael Duke Show continues right after this.
If you missed the show, you can listen to it on your time with Dukes On Demand. Oh, and it's free. Like America used to be. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
That's, And okay. All right. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's not about hunting, Nancy Jr. It's not about hunting. No, it's not. It's not all NRA members, says Henry. It's only the elite in charge. Again, that's what I was saying. The state NRA people, they're golden. The state people those people are golden. You know what I mean? It's the people at the national level are the ones that are, oof. Brian says, first the NRA, now John Lott. Yes, everybody's leaving. Jeannie says it's a good thing. She says she's exposed the NRA to its fatal blow. We're finally getting rid of their duplicity. Yeah, that's that. I would hope. The NRA, Rick is giving the number. Oh, you think I should call up while we're live on the air and start talking to some no-neck kid who's running the phones for the NRA? That would be hysterical. Greg says he just sent Wills Lee a comment on the endorsement. Who is Wills Lee, Greg? Remind me who that is. Who is Wills Lee? I would love to hear what they have to say. All right, I got two. One of them I got two Freds. I got Fred twice. So let's see which one of these is actually Fred, because one is a empty number, I know. Good morning, you there? Hello, Fred, are you there? Okay, that's the dead one. Let's go over here to the real one. Good morning, Fred. How are you doing?
Hey, there you are.
Good.
I don't think that was me.
Yeah, no.
It was Fred True.
It
that
had,
wasn't me.
well, it had your number on it, but we'll call it good. All right, Fred. Well, I'm going to come back to you here. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm still trying to read through some of these comments. So I know where you are now. Hold the line. I'll be right back to you here as we go through. I don't know who Wills Lee is. And now I got to scroll all the way down. Oh, board of directors for the NRA. Thank you. Okay. Is he still alive? And our governor's worthless. His teats on a rattlesnake. Yep. The farcical Olympic boxing match got me fired up. I know. Could you imagine? 43 seconds, right? Putting the men in the ring with the women, and then it ends in 42 seconds, 43 seconds, and then they're like, oh, Terry says, it didn't mean to ruin your weekend. It's a big deal, and I need to. Hey, Terry, it's no big deal. I'm glad you told me. It's a great thing to talk about. Quite honestly, when this show is over, I won't think about it for the rest of the weekend. I got other things going on. I got lots of stuff going on, and I will not be thinking about this for the rest of the weekend. Fat Ray says, so I never had any trust for the NRA, but what did I miss? Oh, yeah, they endorsed Mary Peltola. She got a D 2 years ago in 2022. She got a D rating from the NRA then, and now she's getting the endorsement. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a good thing you have that headset on to keep your head from exploding. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Double Fred. The real Fred. Wills Lee has a Facebook page. He's pissed about a lot of the NRA moves, says Greg. Well, yeah. Why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be? They had a chance to redeem themselves. That's the worst part, is that I think many of us were willing to give them another shot. I think many of us were willing to give them another shot after the case in New York and, LaPierre's departure and all that kind of stuff. We were willing to give them another shot. They were going to clean house and do the right thing. I've been pissed at the NRA since 1986, okay? I'll be honest with you. I was just about to graduate from high school, and I was pissed at the NRA. Why? Because they supported the FOPA, the Firearms Owner Protection Act. the thing that ceased, that disallowed the manufacture of any new machine guns or any new machine guns going on to the NFA. Why? Because I was a machine gun enthusiast, even as a young kid. That's what I loved, military guns and history, and to me, that was a huge deal. And they fed the Class 3 people to the meat grinder of Congress for expediency. All right, we're gonna return. Here we go. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free thinking radio.
What the hell is an assault weapon? Does that mean that if we hurt your feelings, you should consider the Michael Dukes Show assault radio? Okay, we can accept that. Here's Michael Dukes. Kind of a dick, but somewhat funny.
I am not funny at all today. I mean, I am kind of a I mean, that's just what I am right now because I'm mad. I'm mad, angry, mad. All right, we got to jump over to the phones. Fred calling in from Rhode Island, which is close enough to Massachusetts. You could probably throw a rock to it, right, Fred? He's going to tell us what's on his mind today. Good morning, Fred. What's going on? What's happening, sir?
Come on, Mike. You know, Massachusetts, you know, with their infamous wisdom on gun control, if you want to call it that. You know, they totally, you know, they're in lockstep with the national plan, whatever the DNC national plan is, which is probably linked into God knows what else. And they, you know, they're nothing more than a mouthpiece for whatever else is out there controlling them. I think the globalists, but that's just me and my thoughts on the subject. You know, the whole thing with Massachusetts is they went over the cliff wholeheartedly. They bought the whole farm. You know, whatever's being fed down to them, they're in on it, and they're going to do everything they can to get rid of, not restrict, not limit, get rid of the Second Amendment. And you know, they've already started on the First Amendment. Just for people who don't understand that, they're trying to come up with restrictions on what conservative groups can say, but they let the liberal side, the progressive side, say anything they want. We're limiting the other side. And we've seen that back in the Obama day with Lois Lerner and the IRS. Remember them?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I remember all that when they were weaponizing the IRS against the Tea Party members and everything else. Yeah.
Well, however, the Second Amendment's what they want to get rid of first because that's where the resistance, that's where the real resistance in this country lies right now is the Second Amendment. However, you know, as far as like what's going on with the NRA, you know, I think the whole thing is the NRA right now is just trying to find any ally they can. I think they're pretty much that desperate right now to find anybody who will even say yes to one or two subjects and maybe not the whole program. At least get someone on there to sit there and back them up in one or two instances. I think that's where they're going right now. Now, in the past, you know, I'm going to say that everybody has a reprieve and had a change of heart. Maybe she is finally seeing the nonsense and pulling away from the mainstream DNC. And if she is, she's going to get her head chopped off. Because these people remind me, the DNC remind me of the Nazis back in 1930, 38, 39. Goose stepping down Main Street and there's old Adolf Biden Hitler out there and the other brain dead nitwit in a dress standing behind him, trying not to drool on himself. You know, sitting there trying to, sit there and lead the band, as they say.
Right.
So, you know, this is what they're, and God help you if you go against them. If you're a Democrat and you go against them in any way, shape, or form, you're going to wind up like, you're going to wind up, you're going to crucify you.
Freddie,
so everybody's in fear of their own position.
Fred,
go along and play along and have them come down on you.
I think you should tell me how. I think you should tell me how you really feel about this, Fred, because I don't think you're. Oh,
I can't do that. I just blow it on the radio. I just blow up. I just self-detonate.
I just look. I think you're right. I mean, Nancy Peltola or Mary Peltola, Nancy's girl, Mary Peltola, is really trying to skate the line here. She's trying to kowtow to the Democratic Party while at the same time not alienate most of Alaskans. She tries to appear that she's more moderate or more mainstream than progressive, but she's straddling this line. She's having a hard time. And here's the NRA giving her political cover for that kind of stuff. I mean, That is madness. That is absolutely madness.
The NRA is in a position, but they have to. Any ally is better than no ally right now, and they don't care. Maybe 50% or 25% or 10%, in favor of gun owning and gun rights is better than zero. Because right now, pretty much they're facing zero. That Biden in his remaining term, and brain dead Harris, who's worse. The only reason she's in the VP position, she's the only one that's going to be worse than Biden.
Right.
You get rid of Biden, you get stuck with her. God help us all. And there she is now. Now they're sitting there endorsing her. Well, the canoe just went over Niagara Falls.
Exactly.
We're all done.
We're all in the barrel, and they're about to push us down the chute. All right. Well, Fred, thank you, my friend. It's always good to talk with you. Thanks for sounding off this morning and sharing with us.
Okay. Have a good week, Mike.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks so much. Let's go over here, take another call before we run out of daylight. Good morning. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jeff Miller from still in Maine, though. Hot as can be here.
Oh, hey, Jeff.
Just listening to all the gun things there.
What's going on, my friend?
Funny, I sometimes wonder if any of these people have read the Second Amendment. And Camilla, she's going to be trying to be president, and she's going to raise her hand, put it on a Bible, and says, "I protect the Constitution," which that's part of it. The Second Amendment, First Amendment, all of them. And they're gone just as wild, and these people are just as dangerous as ever a time we've ever had. They're wicked dangerous. They don't care. I mean, look at Trump getting shot at. I mean, obviously they let him, this kid. And I think they bred him since Trump's been in office because he knew too much, building bombs. They watched the guy for 90 minutes on a roof 150 yards away with a rifle and didn't take him out, didn't take Trump off the podium. And then the head of the FBI says, "Well, I don't even think he was shot. I think it was a piece of shrapnel." What the hell difference does it make? He was shot at. So either way, the whole deal is a bad deal, and these people are dangerous, and everybody needs to get them out of office. We've got senators here that were working with Camilla and Biden, and now they've gone independent, and they're talking like Trump. And if they get back in office, they'll act like Biden. So this is what you got to watch for, everybody. Just vote out all the rhinos, anybody that was involved in this last 3.5, 4 years. Get them the heck out of office. Just do away with them. And that's going to be our protection right there. We need to vote, and we need to vote these people out. So,
well,
can't say much more than that.
Yeah, well, the problem is they all get subsumed into, you send new people back to the DC, or you send them back to Juneau, whichever swamp you're talking about, and within a couple of years, usually most of them have already been converted back into pod people. So, I mean, it's a never-ending. It's like a game of whack-a-mole, Jeff. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. You just get, every time you smash two more down, two more pop up.
And, my opinion of it all is just vote them all out, do the best we can, and we've got to do something, and anybody that doesn't vote and is lacking, then it's your own fault. I'll tell you that right now. Get out there, get voted, get these people out, and make them understand that we can take them out that way. I mean, of course, the Constitution, there's other ways, but they have done so many stupid things. It's incredible. And I don't even think that any of the people elected are running this country at this point. I think it's a whole different bunch. There's a lot of unelected people doing things with Biden. Look what they've done with the border. Look what they've done with the HMOs. Look what they've done with anything. They just, they don't even care,
I'm with you, Jeff. All right. Well, thank you for listening out in Maine. Are you headed back? Are you headed back to Homer sometime soon, or are you still sticking in Maine for a while?
Well, I'm trying to get there this summer, but I got a lot of land to take care of, and I'm actually about 25 miles in the woods at Maple Grove down on 1,000-acre heath. There is nobody in this township but me, and I'm just a little piece of Lake Alaska.
All right.
But I own all this stuff that I have to take care of.
Well,
coming for probably a month, we can get there. Go in a brand new home here, be back and forth. Next year will be better. We'll have the home up, things all taken care of. And
good enough.
We'll be around most of the summer.
All right, Jeff. Well, it's good to hear from you, my friend. Thanks for calling in and joining us and being part of it. I'll leave you on hold there if you want, or you can hang up. All right, folks. We got more coming up. I mean, I'm quite honestly surprised that not more listeners have called in with their thoughts on the NRA on this. I mean, how do you feel? Are you as flabbergasted and as agitated as I am, or is this just meh? You didn't expect any better from the NRA than to endorse Mary Peltola. I'm just curious. 319-527-3864, The Michael Duke Show. Back with more. Hour 2 dead ahead. Mary has a closet full of guns. Mary's 100% pro-gun. Mary's 100% pro-oil, says Harold. Yeah, I mean, except for she's all about background checks. She's all about waiting periods. She's all about an assault weapons ban as long as it doesn't infringe on the hunting right, which is not what the Second Amendment is about. That's the whole point, Harold. Is sure. I mean, you could still be pro-gun. You could still own a bunch of guns and be, kind of in the anti-gun crowd. You ask Jim Zumbo, right? I mean, you could still be elitist about it and own guns. Sorry, I just looked down and saw Greg's comment. Greg's like, I'm too pissed off to call. My language is swear words this morning. Yeah, no, dude, seriously. That was just it right there. Bill says, I don't expect anything from anyone anymore. I was tired of being disappointed. Isn't that the truth? I mean, isn't that just the truth of the whole thing? I'm just tired of being disappointed. I'm tired of putting my faith in organizations or individuals or agencies or whatever, only to have it completely shattered over and over and over again. Armed at AK, man, you win the internet today. The NRA is pretty handy at negotiating away our rights. Yeah, like I said, when did I first get mad at the NRA? I've been mad at the NRA since 1986. I am not kidding. I'm not kidding. I've still given them money. I went and I'm an NRA certified instructor, right? I did all the things. I really wanted to, really. But I've been mad at them since 1986. And then watch what happened, right? They did nothing for the bump stock ban. They stood nothing. They didn't stand in the way of that or the ghost gun or the arm brace or not. I mean, they just rolled over and pissed on themselves. No, we'll do whatever you want. Terry says the NRA, Semper Fi, by the way. Terry says the NRA doesn't really surprise me with their track record for the last 10 years. I mean, it's madness, man. It's absolute madness. Some no-neck K Street lobbyist working for the NRA in Washington, D.C. decided that Mary Peltola is the best choice. They didn't consult with anybody here, didn't take a look at anything else, didn't look back even just as far back as 2 years to see that she had a D rating from the NRA 2 years ago. And some no-neck, probably some fresh-faced kid straight out of Georgetown where he learned to be a lobbyist got into the NRA and is like, oh, this is I'm a brilliant strategist. Let's just do this. Yeah. Trump banned the bump stock. Yes, he did. Trump's an idiot. What do you want me to say? I agree, Harold. Harold acts like this show is like 100% pro-Trump. It's like sometimes he'll make some kind of comment like I'm out here going, rah, 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 Trump is awesome. And I'm like, at what point did I not say Trump is not an idiot? And that's probably not fair. He's probably pretty smart. He's not a good person. He's a narcissist. He's a populist. He'll tell you anything that you want to say. I've said all these things on the program, but he keeps saying it like I'm like not paying attention. I'm the one that's been telling all you guys that he's not a friend of the Second Amendment for years. Now, is he better than Kamala? Yes, but still, I mean, yeah. Acetone is ready to get the NRA emblem off my truck window, said Teresa. Well, you paid good money for that. You probably paid, $150 to get that little sticker that they send you when you've done a good job. You probably should leave it on there for a little bit longer. Chris does say, he says, to be fair, this show audience is very pro-Trump. I know, to my great shame, this audience is very pro-Trump. I mean, I understand, because the options are diarrhea milkshake or shit sandwich. Which one would you like? And I'm just like, I don't want either. Please. But that's what we're faced with. Does the NRA, Jeffrey asked, does the NRA endorsement really have that much effect? I mean, I don't think it does per se. There may be a few people in the middle ground who will be swayed one way or the other on that. I don't know as it will. But to me, it's the whole point of what they're doing. It's the whole point of, here's an organization. That's the whole point. That's supposed to be supporting gun rights, and they cave in on something like this. And to the point of writing in Spike Cohen on the ballot. Yeah. I mean, Brittany, what is the matter with you? Michael Dukes for president. I don't want that job. I would never want that job. I don't understand people who do want that job, quite honestly, especially in today's age. Maybe during, Jefferson, Adams, maybe those times, maybe I could have been convinced. But today, forget about it. Not a chance in the world. You could pay me $100 million to do it for a year, and I'd tell you no. Well, maybe for a year. Other than that, though, not a chance. All right, here we go. The Michael Dukes Show.
Whoa, buddy. Put that thing back in its holster. We haven't gone anywhere.
I don't understand.
Check out the MichaelDukesShow.com for information on how to get access to the podcast.
The Michael Dukes Show.
I have 2 guns, one for each of you.
Firearms Friday.
As Thomas Jefferson stated, it is the right and duty of the people to be at all times armed.
Say hello to my little friend.
I say that the Second Amendment is, in order of importance, the First Amendment. The right to keep and bear arms is the one right that allows rights to exist at all.
The Michael Dukes Show. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Firearms.
From my cold, dead hands.
Friday.
Take my rifle, this is my gun. This is for fighting, this is for fun.
Firearms Friday.
Firearms Friday, your chance to sound off on issues of a 2A nature right here on the Michael Dukes Show. Good morning. Welcome to the program. Hour 2 of the big radio show as we continue here. Firearms Friday, of course, the one day a week that we get dedicated to the Second Amendment and gun rights and discussions and everything else. And this show has totally gone off the rails today. Because I got hit with something early on. I mean, first of all, Dr. John Lott wasn't able to join us this morning, which was unfortunate, but we'll reschedule him for maybe next week. And then all the well-laid plans I had and all these other stories came apart when one of the listeners informed me that last night it had come out that the National Rifle Association had endorsed Mary Peltola as the nominee of choice in the race for the Alaska U.S. House seat. And to which my brain just stuttered, and I was like, "No, it's not possible. You're just joking, right? You're just." And of course, here we are. It is the truth. It's what's going on now. Jeff, and I got a couple lines on hold here. I'm going to beat to him here real quick. But Jeff in the chat room says, "Does an NRA endorsement really have that much effect?" To which Jeannie responded, "It has a huge effect on the NRA," which she's not wrong. Does it have that much of an effect on the overall race? Maybe for people who aren't paying attention, seeing that NRA endorsement of Peltola might be enough to, because she's already the incumbent, and that's the easy button method, is to just re-vote for the incumbent. And now that you see that she's got an NRA endorsement on top of it, maybe she's not as bad as you thought she was, even though she has a donkey next to her name, right? She's a Democrat. I mean, even because maybe, so, I mean, does it? I don't know, but it does more. It has a huge impact on the NRA, because I'll tell you right now, I'm not giving them any more money ever. Ever. That was it. That was the final straw for me. You were already on double, what do they call that? Double, this is the old movie reference of not Double Jeopardy, but double secret. You were already on watch. We were already watching you. You were already on our last nerves. And then we did the whole thing with the secret probation. Thank you, Brian. Double secret probation. You were already on double secret probation. And because of the whole thing with LaPierre and millions of dollars and lavish lifestyles and all this kind of BS that was going on, and, the possibility of the NRA actually being disbanded by force through the courts of New York and all this kind of stuff. And so you pinky pledged and pinky swore that you were going to do the right thing this time. And you're like, please take us back. We promise to do better. And they're like, okay, all right, well, we'll give you a chance, but you're on double secret probation. Remember that. And then you endorse Mary Peltola. What? Excuse me? What? I think Greg says it all. Greg says, because I asked people, I said, why aren't you guys calling in? What is going? And Greg said, I'm too pissed off to call. My language is swear words this morning. I couldn't even call in. Well, Brian from the Fishhook can call in. Let's see what he has to say. Remember, Brian, we are on the radio. So what's your thoughts, my friend? What's going on?
Thank you for reminding me of the swear word prohibition.
Yes.
I guess my thought is, it's the NRA continues to disappoint. So I have just not ever gotten my hopes up too much on them. They continue to disappoint. So they're a lot like the Alaska legislature in that regard.
And the Alaska GOP, right?
Year after year.
In the Alaska GOP, they're all like peas in a pod. The NRA, Alaska legislature, the Alaska GOP. You guys had so much potential, and you just continue to disappoint me.
Yes, so I'm just spying the spaghetti, which is why I remain totally an undeclared, nonpartisan, non-conforming.
Yeah.
But I am still binary. So I bought a new holster. I bought an urban carry lock holster.
Somebody was asking about that the other day.
Well, but my God. Yeah, it is seriously stiff. I had to break out some of the products that my wife had squirreled away from when she used to have a lot of tacks and saddles to try to get it softened up. I tried steaming it. It took a long time, but it carries well. It carries nice and tight against me on most pants. I got a few pants that for some odd reason the belt loops are in weird places, so it doesn't make it easy to carry. But it's a decent holster. It's got a nice lock, and once you get adjusted, it will stay in there. So
What kind of lock is it? I'm
moderately priced.
Yeah, somebody was asking about this urban carry, right? Is that what you're saying? Urban carry holsters? This is the locking leather
carry.
one. Yeah. I'm not sure what kind of lock is it? Is it a trigger lock or is it a over the top? What's the locking mechanism?
It has like the best way to describe it would be like a pincer that locks over the trigger guard or fits over the trigger guard, and it's sort of, you can adjust it out tension to how hard it is to get out. But so you kind of got to back it off until it's comfortably, you can feel it click.
Right.
And the pincers go around the trigger guard, and then it takes a little bit of effort. You just kind of play around with it until you're comfortable, but it'll lock it in so you can turn it upside down, and you can do the Dukes test once or twice a year when you take all your guns, hold your holsters upside down, and shake them.
And shake them over. Hey, make sure you shake them over the bed, and they're unloaded when you do that. Just a word to the wise. Just to make sure.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm sorry. I'm still.
I lost you, didn't I?
No, I'm sorry. I muted myself so I wouldn't echo back to you. Sorry about that. I was just saying, make sure that when you do that shake test, that you're over the bed and the guns are unloaded. Just in case.
That's what I keep forgetting. That's why. Oh, by the way, does anybody know a good sheetrock mechanic?
I mean, it's the truth, man. It's a truism. Well, I mean, $79 is what they're showing up for on the website. I mean, that's pretty reasonable for a leather holster, especially. Although I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, this is not cheap leather. This is nice thick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Kydex, and I love Kydex, but I have had a couple leather holsters, and they're nice. And as long as they're comfortable, and this is the inside the waistband with the clip on the exterior? Is that the one you got?
No, this is an outside the waistband. Outside the waistband carry, but it carries flat against my hip at 4/16.
Yeah. Well, so you're giving it out of a 1 out of 10. You're giving it, what are you giving it for a rating here on this piece of kit?
I would give it an 8.
An 8. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a good solid.
My usual holster maker.
Yeah. I mean, that's
my GS holster. He went out. He punted and got out of the business, so I needed to look for somebody else.
Yeah. Well, again, Quick Lock holsters. Jason Cook in Wasilla is still doing it, for the last I heard. And then there's always in Fairbanks, there's 40 Below Kydex. He does work up there as well, and he's built the last 3 or 4 of the holsters that I've had done. So there are still some great Kydex mechanics out there who can make all that stuff work. And again, custom for each one. Well, Brian, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on board and sharing with us. I mean, I too, like you said, I'm upset, but at this point, my expectations for the NRA was so low. I don't know how you could have looked up from there. They were so low, but right now it's just forget about it. I mean, I'm done. More money to the GOA and everybody else, right?
Yes, sir. And stay dry and stay ungovernable.
All right. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you calling in. Brian calling in from out at the Fish Hook. 319-527-3864. 319-527-3864. If you'd like to sound off. Brian was smart enough to distract me with a range report on this holster. I'm a little calmer than I was a few minutes ago. But I mean, I just think about this, and I just think, how do we get to this point of betrayal? And really, it is a betrayal. I understand that there's some, like I said, there's some kid from K Street down there at the NRA ILA or the Political Victory Fund or whatever, who's saying, no, this is the smart. I can see him now. This is the smart move. You know, she's done this. We endorse her, and then she'll be happy. She'll be more friendly to us, you know, when the thing, because, so this is the way to, I mean, you know, probably in their heart of hearts, they think it's the right thing to do. But at the same time, what? I mean, what? How does that make any sense whatsoever? Yes, the NRA gets an F. The NRA gets an F in representing true gun rights in the country. We're gonna. I just got a contact card from somebody that said I should interview this person, and this is the person that is quoted in the Must Read Alaska article. Aveen apparently is how you pronounce the name. This is a quote from the Suzanne Downing article in Must Read about the NRA's endorsement of Peltola. This is the last paragraph. Here's what one highly engaged member of the NRA in Alaska said. NRA's track record is bad. They botched the Hopkins-Tomaszewski endorsement last cycle in Fairbanks. Aveen Klein, the NRA regional person assigned to Alaska, didn't listen to local people like me, this is the person from the local NRA saying, who have been doing these endorsements for over 20 years, and she decided to reward Grier for taking his name off of bad Representative Adam Wool's gun legislation. Adam Wool, remember, had a red flag and some other legislation. Against the advice of longtime NRA advisors, she decided to reward Grier for taking his name off of Wool's gun legislation. This is not a reward. It's not a reward for... Grier Hopkins was never going to be friendly to the Second Amendment. Anybody who's followed the Hopkinses, both Luke and Grier, they were never going to be friendly to the Second Amendment. You rewarding them looks a whole lot like pandering. It looks like you're just pandering to them, which is kind of what this looks like, right? You can give me your thoughts on this as we continue on. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Back with more right after this.
We're broadcasting live through a series of tubes.
Allowing all of these entities to provide streaming stuff going on the internet.
Well, it's kind of hard to explain. Sorry. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Okay. Let me go down here. I'm still scrolling here. Taking sorry, I'm just reading through some of these comments. Tawny Booth pretty much Boothby pretty much sums up my my entire feeling for today. Terry says, I can't wait to hear what Nick has to say about this. Well, we'll know because Nick is coming in on Monday along with Brandy Pennington. Chris says, how can I renounce my lifetime membership? I don't think you can. I think there were some people who were so pissed off over the LaPierre thing that they tried and they couldn't. I don't know. Secret probation, double secret probation. Anyway, I'm finally caught up. I'm not caught up. It just pumped up there. Kyle Johansson said NRA probably has polling showing her winning. They're betting on the come. Well, yeah, maybe. That's, again, that does not show a principled stand. That shows, anyway, we'll just back the winner no matter who they are. It's insane, man. Yeah. Jeffrey says, you do realize he's responding to Harold, I'm sure. You do realize he's speaking to his audience, the rank and file American. You're denigrating the working class that keeps the nation moving. That's okay. Harold doesn't believe that, truck drivers and airplane pilots could possibly run government anyway. He said that as well, that they're not smart enough to come up with good ideas. That's why he's running, right? I mean, Harold, that's what you're saying. Ted Nugent bans the NRA. Ooh, baby. Greg says thousands of dollars raised and donated for the NRA. Greg is one of those local people. Greg is one of the local golden people that I talk about. When I talk about the NRA at the local level, my mind immediately pops to people like Greg, because I've seen the thousands of dollars that's been raised. I participated. I've donated time. I have given all I can give to the local people. When I wasn't giving to the national organization, I was still working with the locals, doing Friends of NRA dinners and raffles and doing the auctioneering and speaking, and I've done all that. So I've seen people like Greg who has thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm sure he's being a little modest there. I'm sure it's hundreds of thousands over the years. No more, he says. No more. What was that? Oh, Jeannie says, don it. She's talking about a holster. She's doing her holster test. Don it, then roll down a hill. If the gun stays, it's a 10. Has anyone been checking out the holsters that Donna Anthony is making? I have not. I have not yet. I'll have to go check those out. And Greg sent me the contact for the ILA division person, this Aveen, whatever her name is, that ignored the whole thing about the Hopkins-Tomaszewski race. Nancy's girl got an injection of cash to throw at the NRA for that endorsement. You think? You think that's what it was? It was just money? What's the word I'm trying to think of? Whores. That's the word. Whores. Prostitutes. Ladies of the evening. Someone who will prostitute themselves for money. It's very, very possible. That's very, very possible. All right. I just don't even know what to say, guys. I really don't at this point. I'm like, I got nothing. Let's jump back into it here. 5 seconds. What is the word I was thinking of? Yes.
What the hell's an assault weapon? What isn't? If I assault you with a penguin, doesn't that make it an assault weapon? Does this mean that if we hurt your feelings, you'd consider the Michael Dukes Show assault radio? Okay, we can live with that. Here's Michael Dukes.
Assault penguin. That's what I'm all for. I'm supporting the rights of assault penguins. Fat Ray makes a fascinating observation. He's watching us this morning on YouTube, not listening on the radio. He's higher class than that, apparently. Sorry, I'm not trying to set the radio listenership off of the internet listenership. I just thought it was. Anyway, he makes a fascinating observation this morning when he says, it's not a betrayal if they were never on your side. Which, I mean, first of all, it says a little bit about the cynicism of people watching on the internet today. But I can't say he's wrong, right? It's not a betrayal if they were really never on your side to begin with. I mean, under LaPierre, were they really on your side? Were they really? I mean, you remember the, what was it, the early 2000s when the NRA, I mean, I literally had to tell the NRA at that point because I'd been paying my membership every year, you know, and I didn't buy a lifetime membership. I'd already done that with GOA. As I said, I was still mad about the 1986 FOPA in 1999 and 2000 and 2001. I was still mad about that. But do you remember that time in the early aughts when the NRA was calling like every week? You were getting phone calls Does anybody else remember? If you remember in the chat room, just type 1 or yes, or you remember. Do you remember that? You remember that when it was like, there was just a period of time there for like, I don't know, like 18 months where the NRA, every time you turned around, it was a new postcard mailer. It was a new phone call. It was a new something encouraging you to give and give and give and give. Do you remember that? I mean, because it just seemed like it just ramped up unexpectedly. And of course, now in hindsight, we realize that this was during the reign. This was Wayne LaPierre when he was in there just digging and spending money, $500,000 on wardrobe, private jets, big flights and excursions for his family and all this kind of stuff, all in the name of protecting our gun rights, right? Right? Remember that, right? That was all about. Does anybody remember all that time? What is that? That again reminds me, it's not betrayal if they were never on your side. Maybe I shouldn't be mad. Maybe I should not be mad because again, if it's not betrayal. Not betrayal. Greg says they wasted so much money on that campaign. I mean, come on. That they've wasted so. I mean, what's $1 million now, right? Compared to what they were trying to do and what they did and what they've lost now. The NRA is going to continue. I can almost guarantee it because you got powers that be that want it to continue. But for many of us, it's no longer, it's lost its place of prominence, right? For somebody like me, they were never number one. In my opinion, they may have had the most raw numbers of membership, but they were never number one in what they did. In my mind, the GOA, Gun Owners of America, always did more with less, right? They only had 300,000 members, and they were when they walked through the halls of Congress critters paid attention because they were effective, right? But I mean, they were never number one in my book. It was always GOA, JPFO. I mean, I've given more money to both of those organizations over the years. Now JPFO's gone. They got subsumed by the Second Amendment Foundation. And I have given some money to SAF as well. Alan Gottlieb and Company, Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms. I've given them a little money as well. But, GOA and now Firearms Policy Coalition doing some good work out there. But so NRA is going to continue, folks. NRA is going to continue to move forward. Maybe they'll come back, but they have just lost the respect of so many people. And it's issues like this, going back to what Jeffrey said earlier. He goes, is this really going to make that much of a difference in the election? In the election itself, probably not. Probably in the election itself, probably not. But the effect that the endorsement could have on the NRA itself, on the confidence that people in these states, because if it happens here, this could happen anywhere, right? I mean, they could endorse some other Democratic candidate in some other state that's kind of a reddish purple state where they've got, candidates that need help and need an endorsement. Would the endorsement, if they'd endorsed Nick Begich instead of Mary Peltola, would that have been, would that have had a greater effect? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But if at least you would have been endorsing a candidate who truly believes in those things, who has said he doesn't want waiting periods, who doesn't want the background checks, who hasn't wanted all this other kind of stuff. I mean, at least you'd be on message and on brand with what you got going on. You're literally taking and you're making a mockery of your own rating system. 2 years ago, this candidate has a D and now they've got an A and they're getting endorsed by you. What's going to happen? I mean, I do hope that the NRA, I hope the NRA survives. I do hope that. But they're not going to survive with any help from me. I'm not going to, I'm just not going to do it. GOA, FPC, those are the groups that are going to get my money from now on. That's it. Tawny asks, I'm not a member of either group, but I think I'll look into the GOA or others. I think Gun Owners of America is probably they are the heir apparent at this point. They're more strident. I'll be honest with you. They're more strident than the NRA. The NRA would hedge their bets and they wouldn't use strong language when it came to protecting the Second Amendment. GOA is a take no prisoners kind of organization. And they've done some amazing work. They were front and center during Fast and Furious. They have been just amazing. Larry Pratt, his son Eric, the whole organization, they are fantastic people. I've known them I met Larry Pratt 20 years ago, and we became good friends. When I went to SHOT Show, I think it was, when did I go to SHOT Show? 2000? I can't remember when I went to SHOT Show in Orlando, but it was an amazing opportunity to talk with him and get to know them face to face. And that's when I made the commitment that I'm with GOA all the way at that point. So gunowners.org is where you go for that. Gunowners.org. If you'd like to support the Gun Owners of America. And of course, also the Firearms Policy Coalition. Oh, wait, did they change their website? That was their, there we go. That was their website for years. No, it's gunowners.org. Why is it not showing up? Because I don't know what was going on. Gunowners.org. I was right. And then the Firearms Policy Coalition is the other organization that you can give some money to. They're a nonprofit, and that's firearmspolicy.org. And they are also an organization that does a lot of good work, especially in the courts. They are very heavily involved in court cases around the country. And so you can go join them as well. Firearmspolicy.org. We should have somebody on from FPC. It's been a while since we've done that. I think the last person we had on was Jen Jakes. I think it was the last person we had on from FPC. So anyway, you can go over there and do what you need to do. My dad would still send in a check to the NRA if he was still with us. I'll follow his example. You spend your money where you want. I'm just saying I'm not putting any more money into the coffers of an organization that's having some kind of identity crisis, which I think is what's going on with the NRA right now. They are having some kind of identity crisis. They can't decide who they are. So I'm going to be, we'll see. We'll see what happens from there. All right. We got more coming up. Willie Waffle, wafflemovies.com. He's up next. We're going to get a little bit of light side. Don't forget Monday. It's going to be Brandy Pennington and Nick Begich with us on Monday. But Willie Waffle's up next. The Michael Duke Show.
Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Okay. I mean, again, Harold, if you want to send your money to the NRA, do it. Do it. I'm just not going to send any more money to an organization that can't decide who they want to be. And again, Tawny, GOA.org, gunowners.org. And this is here's the FPC link for if you want to help support the Firearms Policy Coalition. And then this is the link for the Gun Owners of America link. So if you want to do that as well, you can do that right there. So there you go. You can go take a look at either. What is going on with my internet here? Took forever for that to come in. Why did it post it twice? No, balls. All right. It's a hell of a time. I picked a hell of a time to stop sniffing glue. All right. That was it. Come on. That was an airplane quote. Okay. Let's see. Nick has an A+ rating with the NRA. Yep. And yet they endorsed Peltola. Brian says, according to their website, Nick Begich only has a qualified A. So apparently it came back down. It was A+, now it's a qualified A. Yeah, exactly. MAGA supporters aren't monsters, said Harold. Well, geez, I'm glad you clarified that, because apparently you thought we were all going to hell because anybody that liked anything that Trump did was wrong. GCI is dumb, says Melissa. Bill says, great show today. Have a great weekend, everybody. Use restraint when you want to bitch slap an individual that truly deserves it, and stay ungovernable. Yes, my friend, we will do that. We will do that. Leslie Nielsen. Oh, I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. It's a... Jeannie said she'd like to get in the ring with that trans boxer. Yeah, I think that would make an interesting matchup. Why don't you put me, the old fat guy, in the ring with a little boxer and see what happens? What was he? I mean, he weighed what, $160 soaking wet? One of my legs weighs 160, dude. Seriously, let's get to it. Cracked myself up there for a second. All right. Change that. I guess we'll pull the number down, turn the phones off for this morning. Don't forget to join us on the Common Sense Corps. Again, special thanks to David for becoming a member of the Common Sense Corps, for Donna for renewing her support of the Common Sense Corps. Little as $3 a month. You can do it. Help support the show, put shoes on my kids' feet and beers in my coffee cup. No, coffee in my coffee cup, beer in my beer stein, or coffee everywhere. I don't care. What are the other things? It's time to go. It's time to go drink coffee from my beer stein. Anyway, yeah, this was not how I expected the show to go today. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I thought we were going to have a great talk with John Lott. I thought it was all going to happen. I had no idea that the NRA had decided to slit their own wrists and spray dirty words in the snow till they run out of blood. I had no idea that was what was going to happen today. But here we are. Here we are. Absolutely crazy. Kim says, I'm so happy to hear I'm not a monster. Oh, well, don't, maybe you are. Maybe you aren't. Maybe you and I are in good company, because I feel like a monster today. Rippy the Razor. Jeffrey, Jeffrey, thanks for coming in. He's off to the salt mines. Bill's out for today. You guys are going to miss Willie. He's got my phone. In fact, it's buzzing right now. Hold on. All right, we'll connect him. Oh, no, again. Yep, third time's a charm. All right, he's connected. All right, so now we're going to do movies and entertainment and all the fun stuff. It's the stuff you can't get away from. Wait until Monday, says Brian to Kim. You'll figure out that you're a monster on Monday. Save the beer for the horses and the whiskey for your own soul. You know what? It might be a good weekend. I've got where is it? I've got a brand new bottle of some good stuff. That's, you see this? This is I know. Why is it in your studio? Well, because, I mean, it is, there you go. Kaio Japanese whiskey. It's barely even tried. Might have to try some more of that this weekend. Should do an AMA. All right. We're gonna take it. Here we go. Willie Waffle, wafflemovies.com, the Michael Duke Show. Okay, my friends, shall we dance? Shall we move on? Shall we do our thing? Shall we do the weekend? Yes, I think we shall. Weekend, movies, entertainment, Willie Waffle, all these things, they all come together in one perfect little combination of pleasure. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm feeling good. You start talking about dancing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, let's do the boogaloo. Let's do the twist. Let's do the mashed potato. Yeah.
I'm just imagining you doing the Macarena at this point, and I'm just like, okay, Willie doing the electric slide out there, you know. All right, well, my friend, what do we got? We got some entertainment news. We got a couple things on the theater and in the streams, but we got entertainment news. I guess we should start off with Tom Cruise, because he's been showing up all over the place at the Olympics, and people are like, why? What's happening? So what is happening? Is there a new Olympic event for oldest Scientologist who jumps on couches? What's the deal here?
The couch jump. That would be
the couch jump. The couch jump. Really, yeah, exactly. You get a couch, and you get a couch, and you get a. What's going on?
What's going on is get ready for the closing ceremonies, because Mr. Tom Cruise is going to take a major part in the closing ceremonies. Reportedly, when they start talking about how they're handing off the Olympics from Paris, France in 2024 to Los Angeles, California in 2028, Mr. Tom Cruise will drop in on the closing ceremonies. He will rappel down the stadium, or a stunt double will rappel down the stadium and retrieve the Olympic flag. And then, and this is the part that gets me, in a stunt that was taped back in March, he will be skydiving to the Hollywood sign with the Olympic flag.
Oh, God. I mean, okay. I mean, so this is like in a Mission Impossible. Should I hear dun, 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 dun?
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
That's what it's going to happen. He's going to run down the side of the building, grab the flag, leave, and then parachute into Los Angeles. Okay. I mean, I don't know, dude. I haven't watched a single minute of the Olympics. I actually I haven't watched a single minute of the Olympics. I heard about all the fervor of the opening ceremonies and the gay last supper, the drag last supper, or whatever, and all this. And then so I was like, let me see what they were talking about. You can't even watch it because they have copyright striked everybody on YouTube that has put even a single 5-second clip of this thing up. The Olympic Committee, and I'm just like, I don't even care. I just don't even care at this point. It's just one of those things, man.
I've checked out some stuff out of curiosity. I wanted to see the triathlon where they tried to swim in the dirty Seine River. And, I'm waiting for all the contestants to come back with tuberculosis.
Yeah.
I've seen some gymnastics. I've seen some swimming competitions. It's been a fun week, and we've got another week coming up. So, we'll see what happens.
It is what it is, man. And it's just, I don't know. The last Olympics, I wasn't that into it. I watched a few events, but it wasn't anything huge. And I don't know, man. Again, it's game shows, it's the Olympics, it's the Oscars. At this point, I'm just like, I just don't seem to care about a lot of that stuff anymore. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older and grumpier. Maybe that's the answer. All right. So anyway,
Tom, just tired of it.
I'm just tired of it all. I'm just tired. I'm tired of you kids and your damn nonsense. All right. So let's move on to some other news. Some leaks came out from, well, if they're a dragon and it leaks, is that fire, or is it hot pee? I don't know what it is. It's a leak from the House of the Dragon, which is the Game of Thrones jam. What's going on there?
Well, they've got their big season finale on Sunday. And, just like with season 1's finale, season 2's finale has been the subject of leaked footage just days before the big finale. Yes, allegedly it came from an international third-party distributor. That's what HBO is calling it. Some 14 videos totaling about 30 minutes of material have shown up on TikTok and Reddit and X and gained almost 100,000 views before HBO could finally start getting it all pulled down. And they don't even know if they found it all. I mean, once something's out there, it's out there.
It's on the
There's
internet.
no taking it
it's
back.
forever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if this happened before, do you think this is intentional to create some buzz? I mean, is it much ado about nothing? What?
Did I suggest that with my tone?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking if this happened last time, and all of a sudden, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that all this footage just showed up. I mean, from this third party.
Who could
I'm
have
shocked. Who could have?
imagined?
And of course, all the buzz and the news story and everything else. It just seems like a cheap way to get some clicks. But maybe that's just me.
Well, because we're suspicious kind of people,
Yes.
which means we've lived, people.
Exactly.
We've lived.
We've seen that thing called the internet. Well, I'm not suspicious at all. Totally benign. Doesn't matter at all. What's the reaction been so far from all the leaked footage? Anything? I mean, have they given it a rating or something?
Nobody could put it together to figure out what the whole thing is. So I think people are just they're trying to find something cool. Isn't it amazing that 30 minutes of footage leaked and none of it was key plot stuff? How did that happen?
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It's just, sometimes you smell that? It smells like desperation. Yeah. I'm just saying, it smells like desperation.
It does. It really does.
All right. What else you got? You got a celebrity, pop culture Jeopardy, right? Because I talked about, because you weren't here last week, I talked about Alex Trebek's little Jeopardy stamp, which was kind of cool. I did the whole...
Which was very cool.
I did the whole entertainment thing by myself, which was weird because I didn't get through all the stuff that we normally get through in the same amount of time. I'm very slow, apparently. Anyway, congratulations on being quick. But we talked about Alex Trebek's Jeopardy stamp, but now it's pop culture Jeopardy, and there's an argument or a fight over who's going to host. What's going on?
Well, they found a host finally. They made the big announcement this week, and the winner is Mr. Scarlett Johansson. Yes, Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live will be hosting Pop Culture Jeopardy, and it was announced as he's riding high right now. I know you haven't watched the Olympics, but Colin Jost has been the Olympics reporter from Tahiti, covering the Olympic surfing competition, and so he's had a good week.
Oh, I will say that I did catch that photograph of the guy from Brazil. Because it flashed across the newspaper headline, and I'm like, wow, that's a cool photo. And I read the little thing, so I did see that they took that was like a once in a lifetime photo where the guy's like, I'm number one, and anyway, so cool stuff. All right, so he's going to be the host, and everybody's looking forward to it.
They'll start filming it for Amazon Prime in a couple of weeks when he returns from Tahiti.
Okay,
so he'll be all tanned and ready to go.
All right, so final thing, all you superhero nerds, I guess we can all, I guess I'm counting myself in there, we can all unite and rejoice. Superman is now wrapped filming. I've totally forgotten who replaced the greatest Superman of all time, Henry Cavill. So I can't even remember who's the new Superman again. Remind me.
It's a guy whose name I cannot remember.
Jesus, but James Gunn. He announced that the movie is done filming, right? So we're all ready for the next thing right.
That's where it all goes into editing now, and we'll see it July 11th, 2025.
Does it? I mean, Willie, I'm not trying to be facetious, and I apologize, but doesn't it say something when neither one of us can freaking remember who the Superman is for the new Superman film? I want to
say someone corn sweat. Someone corn sweat.
Did you really just say corn sweat? Is that the guy's name?
I think that's his name, though.
His name is Corn Sweat?
Now. I think it's something like that. Hold on.
It's David Corn Sweat. Sweat. It was Corn Sweat. I don't even know who this guy is. Why do I care?
No one knows who he is. That's the beauty. That's why they want him to be Superman, because nobody knows who he is, so he will be Superman
for the next 3 decades, because he'll have nothing else to do. He's signed his life away to be Superman. What's the thing? Have you heard anything about this? Has there been any push? Has there been any? I know there's been a lot of talk about Pedro Pascal being in the Fantastic Four and all. What's the word here?
They did not get anywhere near the kind of publicity that you saw from Marvel at the Comic-Con. And I think that's intentional. I think the DC universe is like, let's just kind of manage expectations, people. Because things have not gone well for the DC universe.
Even when they've had good directors, Zack Snyder, etc., they have not had great results. But again, James Gunn, remember, is Guardians of the Galaxy, and
he is.
I mean, he's he was the Suicide Squad, probably the best Suicide Squad ever, or one of the best DC movies ever. So, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, we got about 3.5, 4 minutes here. So, again, you are so fast with this stuff. I don't know how it took me so long last week. What do you want to talk about first? We got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which that sounds like something my wife would want. And then Trap. What are we going to do first?
Let's start with Netflix. Let's start with the new series, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Yes, your wife is totally going to love this series. So it's like a six-part series, and it's about a young gal. She's graduating from high school, and there was a horrible tragedy in this small English town 5 years earlier. A young girl was murdered, and someone confessed to it. But our hero, Little Pip, played by Emma Myers, has never really believed that story, and she's decided to start digging around, and she's uncovering some pretty bad stuff.
Okay. Is this playing it straight as a drama? Is it a dark comedy? Is it, I mean, what is it?
No, it's total drama, totally. They try to bill it as a young adult series, but frankly, it's just a good mystery. It's a good thriller. And this kid, she is really a strong actress. I mean, she's playing this kid who's very vulnerable. She's supposed to be 17, right? This is supposed to be very dangerous, but she also brings out all this confidence and all this courage this kid has. And you can't believe the twists and turns that you're going to start going down as we try to find out who is the real killer and whatever happened to the body, because nobody's been able to find it.
I guess nobody's found him. Well, that would be a big question. Like, where's the body? Okay.
Yeah.
A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Okay. So it's and it's 6 episodes. They're all there, and it's just a good, solid mystery.
I'm at 3 waffles. I think it's a good one. I like it. It's very interesting.
Okay, well, that's good. I see the first question on Google here is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder spicy? And I'm like, okay, wait a second. This is it's supposed to be no.
Well, as soon as you hear Netflix, you go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because they're known for some stuff. Bridgerton.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is supposed to be a tween thriller, young adult. So I guess but then again, you never know with Netflix. All right, that leads us over to Trap. We got about just under 2 minutes here. Trap, which is the latest one with Josh Hartnett. Take me through it here.
Directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan.
Nice.
Yeah, and this is a really interesting. It's a good premise. Okay, Josh Hartnett is taking his daughter to a concert. It's like basically a Taylor Swift, Beyonce kind of superstar is giving this concert, and his young daughter is desperately wanting to go, and he takes her to the concert. And while they're there, he starts to notice all the police everywhere, and it turns out the police are there because they've got it on good knowledge that a serial killer is at the concert, a serial killer they've been chasing, and now they're going to capture him there if they can.
Okay, all right. First of all, shut the damn thing down. Holy cow, are you kidding me? Put all these. Oh no, we got 60,000 people here as bait just to see what happens.
Just to see what happens.
Holy cow. M. Night.
There are moments like that throughout the movie where you go, when you really think about it.
This is probably not a great idea. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think I would have done this.
M. Night Shyamalan, again, the guy is he's either brilliant or it's a total stinker. And he's really better than not usually. Give me the quick rundown here. I'm sorry, 45 seconds, -1 to 4 waffles. What do you think's going on here?
I'm at 2.5 waffles. I think that, it's fun to watch the killer as he's planning and plotting
Right.
and playing the cat and mouse game, trying to escape. But the movie kind of goes on way too long. It's rightfully campy in some places and not appropriately campy in others. So I'm at 2.5 waffles. I think it's a solid film until you think about it too much.
It's until you think about it. That's what happened when I watched The Happening, and then I was like, "No, I'm totally over this." All right, Willie Waffle. I know, dude. Folks, we're out of time. We'll see you on Monday with Nick Begich and more. We'll see you there. Okay, I was going to say Brandy Pennington and Nick Begich, but there you go. No, I mean, every time I think about M. Night Shyamalan, I'm like, damn. All I think about is like The Happening, or I think about the Avatar Last Airbender, and I'm like, dude, how do you screw that up? How do you mess up one of the most beloved things? You're a brilliant director. How do you mess it up? And then Terry and I watched Signs the other day. We hadn't watched that in 15 years, and I'm like, this movie is freaking brilliant. How does he screw up all these other ones, right?
I think he needs an editor. He needs like someone he can trust, someone he can bounce ideas off of. I think honestly, I think it's the result of having too much power,
much editorial control.
Nobody telling you that's a stupid idea. Nobody telling you, hey, there's a better way to do this. And that's not a shot against him. I think everybody needs someone to help them edit, someone to help them kind of shape and mold things. I mean, you don't hear about it, but all the great rock stars and great writers have somebody they bounce stuff off of. Somebody that they work with.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens all the time.
No,
It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's actually, I think, a sign of strength.
Yeah, no, you got a creative team that you work with. I mean, you may be the ultimate arbiter and ultimate authority, but you have somebody else that you work with on this kind of stuff, because otherwise you're just in a vacuum and you get, I mean, I've done that. I've done an audition or something, and I thought, this is the most brilliant thing that I've ever done. And then, 5 months later, I go back and listen to it and said, man, why didn't I send that to somebody to listen to before I sent it off? Because that's just dumb, right? I get so, baffled by my own brilliance that I'm like, you need to run some of that stuff off of people. But I mean, now remind me, the one that he just did with David Bautista, and I can't remember what the name of it is, The Cabin in the Woods, or what's
oh gosh.
I can't remember what it's called.
It's something like that. Knock at the door.
Knock at the door. Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The one where the knock at the cabin. That was the one that that was the one that was the end of the world one with M. Night Shyamalan with David Bautista. I haven't watched it yet, but I keep hearing how good it is. What do you remember enough to give me a comparison between the two?
That one was a lot better written, I think. That one had you hanging a little bit more. I think that Trap is a good idea that needed to be fleshed out more, and I think that's why it feels like it has 3 endings. Like, just every time you think they're wrapping up, we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to have another twist, and it won't stop. And I think that's the hardest thing to get over with Trap. I mean, it's not horrible. I like Josh Hartnett. I thought Josh Hartnett did a really good job.
Right.
There are times when he's way over the top, but again, I blame the director, because nobody's telling the director, hey, this comes out kind of stupid. Like, maybe he needs to tone it down a bit.
Right.
But there are other times where it's kind of refreshingly funny.
Right. Well, I guess we'll have to see. I am going to watch. In fact, I got to put that on my list for this weekend. I'm going to watch Knock at the Cabin. I've been wanting to watch. We watched Signs here a couple weeks ago. We were talking about whether or not we should watch The Village again, because that's another brilliant one. So, well, I guess we'll have to go, of course, The Sixth Sense, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Well, what are we doing next week, Willie?
Next week we're talking about Borderlands with the. Oh gosh, I'm blanking and I feel so bad.
This is the movie that's based on the video games, right? I mean, this is the one that's based, which is a crazy video game. The video game is crazy. I played it, and it's like, wow, this is a wild story. So I'm interested to see how that translates, because there's a lot of times when that kind of stuff just don't translate well. So I guess
sometimes a game doesn't have a story.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it does, and then they mutilate it, right? I mean, it's just a whole different
Right.
thing, right? All I can think of is Wing Commander at this point. All right. Well, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, folks.
See you then.
Brandy Pennington and Nicholas Baggage the third will be joining us on Monday. I hope you have a great weekend. We look forward to seeing you then. Be kind, love one another, live well, do all that kind of stuff. We will see you on Monday. See you later. That's easy. That's good. Here we go.
We've shed our terrestrial radio skin, and now we are slimy lizard internet people. It's the Michael Duke Show.
Small word. Explain it to me.